Hello and welcome to the very first game of this social media showdown on Rugby League Live 4 between Mr. Luke and Rugby League, in my opinion. Now this is a very exciting game. It might be Friday night football normally. It's not in real life, however. That doesn't mean there doesn't have to be no football at all. Thanks to Rugby League Live 4, we're going to be able to have a game on Friday night. So 7 o'clock, here you go. Sit back and enjoy the game. Now, if you're unaware, this is a 3-match series between Oliver and myself on Rugby League Live 4. We went through and we drafted 120 players, 60 players each. We took a turn each, and we've picked 3 teams, and this is the very first team for the very first game. Let's take a look at Oliver's lineup. So at fullback we have James Tedesco. On the wings we have Jordan Rapana and Jared Hayne. In the centres we have Josh Morris and Greg Inglis. The halves pairing of James Maloney and Cooper Cronk, a former Storm combo there. We have props Martin Tapau and Aaron Woods with Cameron Smith and the hook position. Back row of Matt Gillett, Boy Corner and Jake Trebojevic rounds out the starting 13. And then the interchange is Tui Lolohea, Aiden Tolman, Corbin Sims and Kyle Turner. So now we've seen Ollie's team. Let's see his thoughts heading into game 1.
Feeling very confident ahead of game 1. This is my best team on paper. I'm giving it all in the first game to set a precedent and show that I am better than Mr. Luke.
So Oliver's feeling very confident heading into the game. Let's take a look at Mr. Luke's team. Maybe Oliver shouldn't be feeling so confident as we look at Mr. Luke's lineup here. We have Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at fullback. On the wings we have Sammy Radradra and Brett Morris. We have a centre pairing of Jack Whiten and Will Hopewadi. The halves, Luke Keary, Sean Johnson, a lethal halves combination there. Should expect some great attack from them. We then have a props pairing of James Graham and Dave Clemmer with Damien Cook in the hook position. So we have a former Bulldog front row there. I know it does upset me quite a bit as a Bulldogs fan. We have a back row of Ethan Lowe, Josh Jackson, and the big man JT, Jason Tamalalo, JT13. He rounds out the Mr. Luke's 13. The interchange bench is Alex Glenn, Kevin Proctor, Josh Maguire, and Ben Hunt. So a pretty strong bench there to round out the 17. So those are the lineups over and done with. Now we can have a look at the actual game itself. Game 1 of the social media showdown is about to start. We have Oliver's team running out here. You can see Cameron Smith leading them out. He is the captain, as you would expect. He's the captain of bloody everything. Captain of the World All-Stars, as you can tell by Oliver's jerseys. That's what he is using. Mr. Luke got the custom jerseys there. Both of them wearing white. Bit of a kick clash. Didn't expect that when we were making the teams, but it is what it is. Just going to have to deal with it for this one. In Game 2, the jerseys are a little bit different from Mr. Luke's team. But you can see, looking at the lineups once again, I believe that Mr. Luke's bench will be the difference between these two. Mr. Luke's gone for a very attacking lineup in terms of Damien Cook at hook position, Kieran Johnson in the halves, while Oliver has gone for a bit more conservative output team, in my opinion. But the game is underway. Tuivasa-Sheck taking the kickoff, palms off a player. Immediate break by Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. James Tedesco does make the tackle though. Great start there by Mr. Luke early on. The very first touch of the game by Tuivasa-Sheck is a line break. And there's another one. David Clemmer, 2 from 2 with line breaks and 2 from 2 with tackles, I think, from James Tedesco there. Mr. Luke hitting the right-hand side. Tamalalo, cut-out pass. Brett Morris is tackled there. Greg Inglis coming across, making the tackle, I believe. Heading inside Tamalalo. Big run there. Can Tamalalo power his way over? No, he can't. It's James Tedesco making the tackle. Tedesco, a lot of output from him early on. There's a big tackle. Marty Tapau on James Graham. It is the 5th tackle. 90 metres gained in the very first set. Great stuff there by Mr. Luke, but that's very worrying for Oliver. Sean Johnson puts in a grubber for himself. It opens the scoring there. Sean Johnson, a brilliant little try. And it's 4-0 to Mr. Luke so early on the very first set. Worrying signs for Oliver. That is not good. That is not good at all. Let's take a look at the replay here. See, Sean Johnson puts in a grubber. On Rugby League Live 4, grubbers are very overpowered. If you've never played the game, you might not understand. But it's very hard to defend. But Oliver just gave Mr. Luke too much time there. He's able to put the ball on his foot there. And Sean Johnson ends up scoring the try as well as converting the extras as well. So it's Sean Johnson 6. Rugby League, in my opinion, 0. In fact, well, the official scoreline's Mr. Luke 6. Oliver 0. But Sean Johnson, he scored the try, kicked the goal. Sean Johnson, it's his game at the moment. Well, it's actually Mr. Luke's game. It's just been a great start to the game for Mr. Luke. You can see him making plenty of meters there, throwing the ball around a little bit, but not doing anything too silly, which on Rugby League Live 4, you do have the tendency to want to throw the ball around like you would on other video games. It just doesn't really work out that well. There's knock-ons and, 6-to-goes and that sort of stuff that don't get picked up. So you want to throw it around, but you don't want to go too all out with it. But Mrluke, you can see a little bit there, just throwing around a little bit willy-nilly and stopped making meters as much as he was in that first set and even at the start of that second set. You can see Jarryd Hayne, a great kick return there. Oliver's first touch of the ball ends up with a line break there. Thankfully, Mrluke's defense covers and ends up making the tackle. I think it was Tuivasa-Sheck who ended up making the tackle in the end there. Another line break, James Tedesco. Oliver going for the sidesteps time after time, and he's making line break after line break there. So just about 10 minutes into the game on the second tackle, a bit of a nothing sort of run there. Jake Trbojevic, he's not the best rated on the game. Very underrated compared to what he is in real life. You just got to remember, guys, seeing some of these ratings and some of these plays, you might think they're playing a lot better than what they should. But, hey, this is a video game after all, especially a video game that was made in 2017. So keep in mind some of these ratings are absolutely whack, let's be honest. Not a great play there by Oliver. He goes to the kick. His own player gets in the way. I will say it has happened to me quite a bit playing Rugby League Live 4. Thankfully not in this game though, but Oliver hopefully made to pay, because I do want to see myself score another try here. If you're not aware, Mrluke commentating the game here. Commentating my own one. I am no Andrew Voss, I'm no Ray Warren, but I'm giving it my best here. See Mrluke making a fair few meters here. Oliver not playing fantastic to start off with, but Mrluke himself, apart from that first set, not really doing too much there. You see Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, a bit of a nothing run on the fourth tackle, not what you want, but it is in pretty good field position for a kick, for they can get a good kick here, which they put up a midfield bomb. Sean Johnson, is there pressure on him? Yes, there is. Jarryd Hayne takes it, but can't do anything with it, which is a good sign considering his last run was a big run from a kick return. Boyd Corner taking a run there. Josh Jackson wraps him up there pretty well, drives him back a little bit actually. James Tedesco, a bit of a nothing run there. Once again, just sort of trying to pass it to Tedesco. This is kind of what tends to happen with James Tedesco a little bit, even in real life. Sort of pass to Tedesco and hope for the best. And that's what I feel like Oliver is sort of doing at the moment. Trying to find Tedesco, trying to find those real nippy sort of plays like Greg Inglis right there and trying to step through Mrluke's defense. But it's not really working. See, he only made 6 meters that set. That is not a good set of 6. So far, Mrluke, although he's only up 6-0, absolutely all over Oliver at this point. Brett Morris with a kick return there. Damien Cook jumping in the dummy half as he should. Great tackle there. James Tedesco, another tackle, but using a lot of energy. Rugby League Live 4, energy is a big deal, and he is chasing hardcore with James Tedesco, which means James Graham has made a break. No one at home, and a forward pass there. They've given it a knock on, but it is a forward pass, and Oliver survives. Tamalalo gets the ball. I'll be honest, when I was playing the game, I was absolutely blowing up at that point. I don't know how that was a forward pass / knock on. I really don't understand that one, but it is what it is. Just had to deal with it. And Oliver is looking to get on the attack here. Still not doing too much though. Just like I said earlier, you can't really throw it around too much Rugby League Live 4. It does become a little bit predictable. On this point, Oliver, a little bit predictable at this point. He's just throwing it not quite one out, doing 1 or 2 passes and then stepping, which has been quite easy for Mrluke to defend. But you can see on the wing there, not great field position, as well as meterage, not great. And there's a forward pass. There is the square up. I don't know if that was forward there, but Mrluke will definitely take that, especially after what I consider a bit of a robbery for a try there. So hopefully Mrluke can take advantage of it. No, he can't. A big hit by Oliver's team. It was James Maloney, I believe, putting on a huge hit there. James Maloney not known for his big hits, but on Rugby League Live 4, apparently he is. And then a nice little run there. Jarryd Hayne breaking through more tackles. Breaking through a lot of tackles, actually. 23 minutes in. Oliver looking to hit back here. Looking to get back into this game. I know it's 6-0. It seems weird to say looking to get back into the game. After all, it is only 1 try. And it could be a big try should he even it up. But so far, hasn't really offered too much at this point. A few line breaks here and there, but no substantial pressure compared to Mrluke, who has been offering a lot of pressure on Oliver. could consider himself unlucky to not be up 12-0, considering I still think that pass Tamalalo, I still think it was good. I don't understand that decision by the referee, but hey, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Let's move on from it. Cooper Cronk, very slow to get the kick away there. Very unlucky for Mr. Luke to not charge that one down / make the tackle. But Samir Raja making a break there. Samir Raja, 83 rated on this game. I can't believe this, but definitely not playing like an 83 rated right there. Great little run. There's a nice pass. Josh Jackson trying to draw and pass. Didn't work, and Greg Inglis wraps up. Josh Morris, I think it was. Oh, sorry, Brett Morris maybe. Actually, it's Brett Morris on the ball right now. That's a good little run there from Brett Morris. Centering the play right there. Gives us options on the left and the right. Will they go to the left or will they go to the right? They're going left. It's Jason Tamalalo. Using the hands there. Jack Whiten just needed to get the last pass. And we may have seen a try there for Mr. Luke's team. Can he get a try before halftime though? It's 6-0. It'd be killer for Oliver if Luke can score a try here just before halftime. Fifth and last, looks like they're going to the right. Damien Cook jumps out of dummy half, and there is a big hit. Boyd corner on Josh Jackson. Why is Josh Jackson getting the ball on the last tackle? I don't know. That is very, very poor play by Luke. That is some very, very poor play. And there is a good run there. Marty Tapau getting Oliver's team on the front foot. So essentially this could be the final set for Oliver in attack because of how fast this game goes. 9-minute halves they're playing for this one. So in the 31st minute, so like I said, this could be Oliver's last chance to score before halftime. And I'm sure he's going to be going all out to do so. Cameron Smith in that dummy half. James Maloney taking a bit of a hit up. Bit of a dud sort of set at this moment. Inglis gets the offload to Jared Hayne. Hayne and Inglis have been quite effective out in that left-hand side for Oliver, I will say. Being quite good. Cameron Smith going crossfield here. Not sure what's going on here. Big cut-up pass. Josh Morris up against Whiten. Whiten makes a tackle on Jordan Rapana there. That's a pretty poor bit of attack there. I don't know what they'll do and going so far crossfield. Once again, it's Cameron Smith there. You see Jack Whiten just running crossfield as well. Looking to make the tackle. And there's a forward pass. Throws it over the sideline. Anyways, that's what happens when you spam the pass button on this game. They just throw the pass. It goes over the sideline. Not sure what Oliver's doing there. At 6-0 down, he needs to play a lot better. Although, in saying that, Miss Luke definitely needs to do a lot better than running it up and getting hit with another big hit. Jake Trebojevic that time. Maybe it was Trebojevic last time. Who knows? But Jared Hayne makes a very important tackle there on Will Hopewadi. If he didn't make that tackle, they were in definite trouble there. In fact, they still are in trouble. A couple of minutes ago until halftime. Great run there from Brett Morris. Sean Johnson takes on the defense. Takes him on even more and ends up going over and scoring a beautiful try there. A very Sean Johnson-esque try. Just exposed the defenders there. They came rushing out, and you don't want to do that on Sean Johnson. You just can't do that on Sean Johnson. That is peak Sean Johnson, in fact. Aaron Woods getting caught out there. Same as Martin Tapau, exposing the two big props for Oliver's team. Sean Johnson, what a player. Take Tapau, great little try there. And once again, Sean Johnson, he scored the first try. He scored the second try. It's 12-0 Sean Johnson. He's absolutely killing it at this point. He's a shoo-in for man of the match should Luke go on to win this one. But we're back underway just before halftime. Can Luke score a third try? That would be great. Looks like they might. Damien Cook throws a pass. Jason Tamalalo didn't need to throw the pass. Damien Cook probably would have had the legs to go the distance, I reckon. He's definitely a fast one. Has anyone ever mentioned that he's done beach sprints? I don't know if they have. Brett Morris finds himself over the sideline. Such good play from Mr. Luke. And it's all gone to shit, essentially. He's been thrown over the sideline. Hopewadi didn't need to throw the pass. I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but he was through the gap. Jared Hayne rushed up, and he was in no man's land there. And then Brett Morris was one who ended up in no man's land. So it's Greg Inglis running. Oh, Greg Inglis, he's just palmed off Jack Whiten, I think it was. Jack Whiten, that is a poor miss by him. If it's not Whiten, I don't know who it was, but that is a very, very poor miss. Greg Inglis has gone through any... Oh, no, I was going to say he scored. They've gone to the video ref, and they've given it a no try, which Rugby League Live 4, we all know that means it's definitely a try. You can see the put down. It's good as gold there. Greg Inglis, fantastic try by a fantastic player. And just like that, Oliver is back in the game. I was about to say this game is wrapped up. Going to halftime, 12-0. I think Luke would have smashed this one in the second half. But Oliver, he's made a game of it. And Cameron Smith from the sideline. Can he kick it? We know he's capable. How's Oliver's kicking on Rugby League Live 4? We'll find out. Starting it out quite wide. He's bringing it around. And he does fall short there. I think in terms of direction, it was okay. Just didn't have the legs on it. So, unfortunate for Oliver there. It's 12-4 though. We have one last play before halftime. It should take us at the halftime. Are they going to throw it around? No, they're not. They're going to step through the defense. Cooper Cronk steps the fullback too. And there is a high tackle. So Luke gifting field position to Oliver here. Maybe he can slot a field goal. Maybe he can score a try even. I'm not sure what the game plan is going to be for Oliver. We'll find out in a second. So about 32 metres out. Passing it to Jake Trbojevic. Pretty poor pass. And just a simple hit up there. Pretty poor end to the second half for both teams, in fact. Although I suppose Oliver did score the try just before half-time, so I suppose he can't complain. Considering some of the play in the first half, I think Oliver will be pretty pleased going into the second half that it is only 12-4, considering some of the chances Mr. Luke has had. But here are the stats at half-time. You see completions pretty good from both sides. Mr. Luke 8 from 11, Oliver 8 from 10. That is pretty good considering Rugby League Live 4. There's usually a lot of drop or a lot of errors. Line breaks 8 to 7. Pretty even stats-wise. However, I think you can tell watching the game, I think Mr. Luke's had the better of the play. But just stats-wise, maybe not so much. Maybe it's not as much as what we think, at least. Sean Johnson scoring 2 tries for Mr. Luke as well. Inglis scoring the try for Oliver. But let's take a look at the replays here. Speaking of Johnson's try, there it was. There was the replay of that first try. Moving on to the second try. Once again, it's the man, Sean Johnson. Absolutely loved him on all the video games. Cover athlete of Rugby League Live 3. Scores the second try. And at that point, we thought Mr. Luke might have been home there. Going into halftime, 12-0. You think it would have been over, but Greg Inglis is the difference maker in this one. Greg Inglis, what a player. For so many years, he's been able to produce that stuff in real life, and he's producing it on Rugby League Live 4. So, at halftime, it is 12-4. We're going to be moving on to the second half in just a minute. But that was a pretty good half of football. Hopefully, the second half is just as good. So no ad breaks here on the Mr. Luke channel. We're jumping straight into the second half. Sean Johnson gets the game underway. A 12-4 lead to Mr. Luke. Can he wrap up this game? That is not a good start for him though. Cameron Smith with the line break. Not something that you normally see from Cameron Smith, especially taking the kick return, let alone making a big line break like that. Usually doing the playmaking and not the running. But I'm sure Oliver will take that one. Great field position for him. Can he capitalise on it though? That is the question. A bit of a nothing run there. Marty Tapau just centering up the play. He's going to go left or right. He goes left. Big cutout pass there. Boy corner palms off a player. And Mr. Luke has got his bench on in full effect at this point. Alex Glenn is on. I think Kevin Proctor's on. I think I see David Clemmer still on the field. So, a few changes for Mr. Luke, but Oliver still running with the same lineup by the looks of things there. Great on there by Jared Hayne. He's been so good. I'm not sure what his rating is in Rugby League Live 4. I think it might be about 85. But a pretty, very, very lucky there. Mr. Luke, I was going to say a poor kick there by Oliver, but Luke takes full advantage of it. Tamalale picking up the ball there, makes a few extra meters. Oliver just needs to find some better last tackle options because he hasn't really offered too much, while Luke hasn't really done too much himself, but field position has been a lot better for him when he's giving up the ball. So, yeah, Oliver definitely needs to do a little bit better there in that aspect, but he is playing a lot better opening up this second half compared to that first half. Brett Morris, great run there, going crossfield, going very crossfield, ends up with Kevin Proctor. I will say, bit of a nothing run there by Luke. Going to the left there. Big cutout pass. Sammy Redradra. The fullback dives. Tedesco dives for no reason. Keary finds himself going to the line there. And Luke Keary scores. Both the halves for Mr. Luke's team are scoring all the points here. Luke Keary scoring the 4-pointer there. I'm not really sure what happened. A little bit of lag maybe there. But James Tedesco goes for the big dive and gets absolutely nothing. But a nice little pass there. Jack Whiten throwing the offload, and Luke Keary goes over and ends up scoring the try. Nice little pick up there by Luke Keary, actually. And we see Cameron Smith, typical Cameron Smith, coming in late with a bit of a dog shot there. But it is 16-4 at this point. Sean Johnson slots the extras. So it is Mr. Luke's halves 18, Oliver 4. It's just been an absolute masterclass from the halves. I was talking about them being great in attack. I didn't realise they'd be this good. Damien Cook taking the ball. That's a risky pass there. Bit of a loopy pass. Tamalalo in space. Tedesco left for dead, although he does catch him. Tamalalo, a bit of a speedster for a forward, but he isn't going to outpace James Tedesco, that's for sure. A nice little dummy there. Sean Johnson, can he get to the line and score a third? No, he can't. He can't score that hat-trick as of yet anyways. They're looking for David Clemmer. No, they don't. They cut him out. Is there a knock-on? No, there's not a knock-on. There's an offload, though. James Graham. Can Mr. Luke score a try and just seal this game? I mean, you're looking at it and probably saying it is sealed at this point, but just get the last one. Will Hopewadi, very, very close. Can't barge his way over. thrown it until he's back there. Fourth tackle, about a metre out from the line. Pretty poor play. Damien Cook just taking too long at dummy half. So I'm got Oliver's last play options being poor. What can Mr. Luke dish up here? Go on here. Oh, that's a nice pass. Oh, can they score? Can they power their way over? No, they can't. Kevin Proctor is held up there. Not a bad place to give up the ball, though. If you're going to get tackled on the last, you're going to get tackled about a metre out from the line, and that's what Mr. Luke did. That's what I mean. Mr. Luke's last tackle options haven't been too much better than Oliver's, but it's just a matter of field position, and that's making everything. Speaking of field position, a big run there. Boyd Cordner gaining a lot of field position there for Oliver's team. Are they going to go left or right? They do have the numbers to the left, and that's exactly where they go. Just too much of a cutout pass, in my opinion. Brett Morris with a run there. Oh, sorry, it was actually Jared Hayne. Brett Morris making the tackle. I apologise. Keep getting the Morris boys mixed up. Keep thinking I've got Josh, and then he's got Brett. Oh, there's a forward pass. That is a bad error. Oliver, at this point, just forcing the issue. I feel like if he played a bit more patient, he would be alright with this one, but he's just forcing passes that just aren't on. And I think that might be his second or third forward pass of the game. Mr. Luke looking to take advantage. Wahopawadi throws a dummy and is getting tackled there by Jared Hayne. Jared Hayne, too good of a defender. Not going to get suckered in by that one. But 55 minutes into this game, taking a bit of a settler run just there. Alex Glenn actually hit a pretty good hold, though, I will say. Jason Tamalalo wrapped up quite easily. Aaron Woods, don't know how often you're going to see Jason Tamalalo get tackled one-on-one in real life, but it just happened there. Aaron Woods was able to do it, and there's the overlap. Jack Watton, once again, just need to get the last pass off. Didn't happen, though, and then he wraps it up. That's a pretty loopy pass. Aaron Woods on his old mate, David Clemmer. The old Bulldogs forward pack there, clashing. But it is the fifth tackle here. What is Mr. Luke going to do? He's going to pop up a bomb. Oh my god, that is a terrible bomb. It does bounce though. Oh wow, that is risky. That is very, very risky. Not too much you can do in Rugby League Live 4. Sometimes they give you the option of catching a bomb, and then when it's like that, you just have to trust that they're going to catch it, because it was such a terrible bomb that the game sort of takes care of itself. However, sometimes they do let it bounce, and you can concede from it. So Oliver, a little bit lucky there. Would have been unlucky to have conceded, but a little bit lucky there that the ball did bounce his way there. 60 minutes in though, 20 minutes left of the game. Mr. Luke, very, very comfortable at this point. It's just a matter of how much he's going to win by at this point, because I can't see Oliver scoring 3 or 4 tries in the next couple of minutes, because that's what it's going to take. He's going to literally have to score every time he has the ball in the next couple sets here. So, Mr. Luke feeling pretty comfortable at this point, I would imagine. He puts in a grubber there. That's a pull. Well, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's kicked that, and it's fallen straight into the hands of Will Hopewadi. What a pick up by Will Hopewadi, and he just raced away and scored there. Bit of an all or nothing play. I was just talking about how Oliver needed to score pretty much every set at this point, and he's tried to do that. He's gone for the Jared Hayne origin play, kicking the ball down the sideline and try and regather. It hasn't worked though. Jared Hayne was actually wrapped up by Brett Morris there, so he couldn't even regather his own little kick. And Will Hopewadi picks the ball up and races away and scores a try. So there's the first try for Mr. Luke that has not been from a halves player. So, you know, that's a first. That's nice for Mr. Luke. A little bit of variation there. A bit of a runaway too. Against the run of play, I would say as well. I just saw for Oliver, James Tedesco has been taken off. Tui Lalahia gone to the fullback position. This is what I was talking about early on. James Tedesco making a lot of tackles. Probably expending too much energy at this point in the game. And he's probably been made to pay. James Tedesco being fantastic for him, being one of the better players, as well as Inglis and Jared Hayne. Although Hayne, his error did cost him big time there. Will Hopewadi, a big run, and his shoulder budges Lalahia. Lalahia, the Super League Lalahia at this point, just gets destroyed there by Will Hopewadi. But yeah, a little bit poor management, I would say, by Oliver. But this is the first time both Luke and Oliver have played online. So I will say that in terms of managing the rotations and that, and just managing the players in general, it is a bit of a learning curve for them at this point. But Mr. Luke not doing too much here with the ball. A charge down, great play by Oliver actually, great kick pressure. There was a charge down, wasn't 6 to go though, and Mr. Luke did have to scramble, couldn't get a kick away, and Oliver picks up the ball there. Pretty good defense overall. He actually did quite well can he pick up a bit of a consolation try before the game is over? It's 24-4, because that's what it's going to be, a consolation try, if anything. But yeah, Lola here in at fullback, up against Tedesco. Definitely a mismatch. James Graham drops Marty to power. Once again, an old Bulldog on a Bulldog there. James Graham, what a play. 87 rated on this game. Mighty to power, I think, might also be 87 rated as well. Apologies if I'm getting these ratings wrong, but we're playing off the base game, so this isn't any edits to the fan hub or anything like that. This is just straight up what they'd be if you just bought Rugby League Live 4 and started to play it. Jordan Rapana with the ball on the last. Not sure what's the go there. Jared Hayne drawing and passing. He gets around him. Inglis, he's going to the line. Can he score a second try? No, he can't. Gets the offload away. Are they going to score? No, they're not. Boyd Cordner is wrapped up on the last. That is a great tackle there by Mr. Luke's team. Great scramble, but great play by Oliver. Very, very unlucky there. Got a bit unfortunate considering the ankle tap slowed you down so much, Rugby League Live 4. I mean, the tackle was probably never on, but just the fact that they threw the animation there, it did slow down Inglis enough for Mr. Luke to get back in defence and make the tackle and scramble. But Sean Johnson making another line break. A bit unfortunate to end up with the ball in that position, but Ben Hunt racing away. Can Ben Hunt score the try? Oh, he's ankle tapped himself. That's what I'm talking about. That animation, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's worked out. Okay, and a big hit. Josh Morris on Jack White. Jack White not having a fantastic game here. He's missed tackles. He's been hit hard. But he has actually made some pretty good tackles himself, to his credit. Tuivasa-Sheck passes it through the middle. A grubber. Oh, it's picked up by Oliver. Racing away. Cameron Smith. I'd love to see the meterage he's made. He's made a lot of meters in this game. Actually, quite a good performance there from Cameron Smith. But that's just to be expected. It's typical Cameron Smith. Maybe not typical in terms of him making that many line breaks and that, but just a good performance, a clinical performance by Cameron Smith. I think I was quite disappointed, Mr. Luke talking here, I was quite disappointed that we couldn't get the Cameron Smith ourselves, but it's not going to matter. Brett Morris picks up the ball there, another error from Oliver, and we are going to race away and score another try there. It's 28-4. It's a bit of a blowout victory here for Mr. Luke as he's looking to take game one. In fact, he is going to be taking game one. I don't know, I'm talking like he's not. Unfortunate there for Oliver because it was a line break, but just the error. This is what I was talking about. You just got to play a bit conservative at times and just take the tackle sometimes, because on this game, if you try and force the pass, it's not going to work. And he's forced to pass quite a bit, Oliver, and he's been made to pay on a number of occasions there. I will admit, the pass that was thrown to Brett Morris, I didn't even try to do it. The computer just kind of did it, and I was actually able to reap the rewards from the computer for once. So a little bit of luck there for me, but at this point, 30-4, it doesn't really matter if we score a try or not. We had the game wrapped up. It's just a matter of getting the game over and done with. And we have a minute to go, and that's what the game will be. Over and done with. Chasing Tabalalo, making a break. Oliver just getting caught in no man's land, this time with Lola here at fullback position. Just racing up too much. He just needs to relax a little bit. So that's what he needs to improve on in the second game if he is to sort of be any chance of getting a victory over Mr. Luke, because this has been one hell of a display from Luke. A very, very dominant performance. 30-4 there. A big win and a big start to this social media showdown. You see the players all celebrating there. Mr. Luke's side, once again, just looking at the jerseys, definitely need to fix that up for the second game. But Sean Johnson, man of the match there. I don't think it's any surprise. He scored 2 tries, kicked all the goals. Luke Keary, Hopewadi, and Brett Morris also scoring tries, while Inglis, just the lone scorer for Rugby League, in my opinion, in that first half. Nearly scored in the second half. A bit unlucky there for GI. Was one of the better performers, I should say, for Oliver. Him and Jared Hayne on that left edge, quite effective. But Will Hopewadi, Brett Morris did a pretty good job with them overall, only letting them score that 1 try. Now let's take a look at the tries from the second half. You can see once again Tedesco caught in no man's land there, and Mr. Luke was able to take advantage. Luke Keary opening the scoring in the second half there. So if you had first try scorer in the second half for Luke Keary, you would have just won your bets there. Will Hopewadi picking up the ball here. As we're about to see, the tries in the second half, they weren't all that impressive in terms of them being errors from Oliver and Mr. Luke just taking advantage. In fact, you see Oliver making a line break. Very unfortunate to not score himself there. Tries to go for a pass. I think it may have hit Brett Morris, in fact. There was no knock-on called, and Brett Morris is going to race away and score the last try of the game. Very unlucky there for Oliver, but At the same time, Mr. Luke got himself in the right positions, created chances, and took advantage of it. And I will say, the completions for Oliver, we saw in the first half, only 2 errors in the first half. It did end up being 7 errors, so a lot of errors there. 2 penalties for both sides, or 1 penalty, 2 penalties overall. But Mr. Luke making them all line breaks, did just break it open in the second half. And you know, positive signs for Luke in the sense that he didn't crumble under the pressure, and he was able to go on with that in the second half. Now, we've heard from Mr. Luke's thoughts on the game, considering I did just commentate the game. Now let's listen to what Oliver had to say post-game.
Well, there's not much to say after that first game, other than it was absolutely appalling. I'll tell you right now, heading into this tournament, that team was my best team on paper. That was the team that was going to start off strong, and I was looking to kick on from there. Unfortunately, that team has been beaten pretty easily by Mr. Luke, so I'm not giving up yet, not giving up hope, but yeah, that was certainly an appalling effort, and I'm glad none of those players can play again.
So as you can see, Oliver quite disappointed with his performance, but that is not where the series ends. The series does move on next week, next Friday, 7 PM. There's going to be Game 2. Oliver looking to hit back and stay in this series and keep this series alive. It's 1-0 to Mr. Luke. That's where I'm going to end the video. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and stay tuned for next week's game. Thank you for watching, guys. I've been your commentator, Mr. Luke. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you to the next video. Bye, guys.